Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode in a series where we go over and analyse the real world counterparts of the vehicles officially announced for the upcoming game Snowrunner. In this episode we're looking at a Russian truck again, the Step-310E, which is the in-game name for the Zil-133VYaT. I will say now that this episode may be on the short side, as the information I could find on this truck was very limited. Okay, I'll start by saying this truck was only ever developed as a prototype, and as far as I can tell was mostly just a testbed for a specific Kamaz engine using chopped up parts from other trucks at the time. Because of this, only very short snippets of information about this truck still exist, which make this video a lot of speculating really, but I'll try to tell you what I can find regardless. So the original plan for this truck was to use a Kamaz engine in a Zil built truck in order to produce a vehicle that could utilise modern amenities whilst also being able to haul semi-trailers up to 38 tons. However, due to prototyping and testing delays, by the time it came to full-scale production, the truck was deemed outdated both ergonomically and technically. The Kamaz engine in question was the 10.9 litre, 260 horsepower, turbocharged diesel V8 built by Kamaz that was supposed to be produced a lot of torque for its rated horsepower, although I cannot find any information confirming or denying this. Regardless, this engine was one of the features that was deemed to be obsolete by the time of mass production, as it was decided that a 300 horsepower engine was needed to keep the truck competitive. It must also be noted that other Zil-133 trucks were fitted with engines rated up to 210 horsepower, so we may also see these included in game as other options. The cabin was actually a modified version of the cab found on other Zils at the time, and the radiator lining also came from another Zil truck. In a similar vein, the chassis itself seems to be a modified version of an earlier Zil-3 axle truck, but I can't find any confirmation on whether or not that's true. Regardless, this seems like a real Frankenstein of a vehicle. As you may have noticed, not only from the pictures of the real truck, but also from the truck card, this vehicle doesn't look especially big, and the dimensions given reinforce this idea. This is the narrowest 3-axle truck and is only 10 cm wider than the Hummer. However, despite this narrow frame, the length of 8 meters is actually pretty long. Perhaps the cab has a big BBC measurement. I can't comment on how accurate the switchable all-wheel drive and differential locks are, but I will point out that if you look at the images of the prototype, you'll see that pretty clearly that it just has a straight front I-beam, suggesting that giving this thing any form of all-wheel drive in game is a deviation from the inspiration, or could be a mistake on the card. The last stat to note is the fuel tank. Normally I'd say that 220 litres for an off-road truck is small, but given the size of this thing, or its engine, and the fact that it can turn off all-wheel drive and differential locks to save fuel means that 220 litres should serve this truck nicely enough. It's difficult to say what sort of role this truck will take in game, since we know so little about it or its real-world counterpart. However, I would hasten to speculate that this truck will almost be the Russian version of the American International Lodestar, but a bit beefier. It should be cheap and capable enough when unladen, however may struggle when under heavy load, so I would suggest to use this as a light recovery and haulage truck. Before this video ends, I have to thank user Zamel, who found a lot of the information I based this video on. Really, I was considering not covering this truck until he helped me out, so that was a big help. Also, what do you guys think of my speculations? Do you think I'm right and this is a light duty semi that will quickly fall into obsolescence like the real truck, or do you think it's going to be a beast? Let me know in the comments down below. Take it easy and have a good one everyone.